We know we are sure we are rainbow youth. Rainbow.
Rape is a violent experience that can have profound effects on the victim's daily life. If you have been sexually assaulted, you may experience a range of feelings and reactions that can be immediate, short term, and long term. In this discussion, we'll be looking at steps a patient should take after experiencing this trauma. And I'm not alone today. I'm here with the real Amazons, my daughters, the real MVPs for this discussion. Let's meet them.
My name is Owanemi Jim George. I'm a legal practitioner.
My name is Janet Obi. I'm a teacher.
Hello, my name is Barinika Dele. I'm a student of the University of Port Harcourt.
Okay, Miss Janet, I'd like you to share your experience with us briefly.
Well, good morning. Before I share my experience, I want to boldly say that I'm a rainbow. Thank you. It's a very, very wonderful experience, I should say, because it all started when I was 15. I was staying with my aunt then. So after my work, I went to visit a friend. Unknown to me that I was drugged. Unknown to me that the drink they gave to me it was drugs. So when I woke up, I found myself on the bed. I was like, what am I doing here? I tried asking her, and I saw the brother. She was like, Janet, that deed has been done. I said, what did? I said, so I got myself, I was in a shock, and then I was not old enough to tell my parents, so I kept it to myself. I traveled to stay with my aunt in Lagos. So when I was there with her, she noticed a change in my body. So she was like, Janet, this is not you. What's happening? I said, nothing. Not when we now went to hospital, did a test, then I was confirmed pregnant. Then it was 6-7 months. So she was like, okay, can we go for an abortion? I agreed. So we went for a place, they gave us drugs, but to no avail. Then the day that we decided to go for the abortion, I had a dream. Then I was like, the dream, the man was like, I have forgiven you for your sin. Don't do that. If you do it, you want to come back. So when I woke up, I told her I'm not going again. So I told my mom, I called my mom, I told her everything. She was in shock, yes. I came back, I had to come back to the village. After all the shout and all that, I went to stay with the guy. So
Okay, so you went to the guy's family?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I went to the guy's family to explain myself. Meanwhile, the guy has already pregnanted 2.
Oh,
Plus me, that's 3. I was like, wow. So I went to the guy's place. We went there, we were discussing. They now agreed, okay, I'm going to stay with them. Because they were like, I should get married to him. I said, no, I can't do that.
and by then you're
Not
just
my
you're
husband.
16.
Yeah, yes. That is not my husband. So they said, okay, then they'll take care of me after my childbearing and all. I said, no problem.
Okay, so what happened? What happened? You had the baby?
I had a baby,
Okay.
then I came back.
So where is the baby?
Continued. Well, the baby is late now. This 4 years plus.
Oh, okay.
She's late now.
Okay.
So
Oh, what a story. But in your story, I didn't hear where you arrested, maybe your parents arrested the boy since they know the person. Your parents did not take any drastic measure against the person.
yeah, my mom wanted to, but I told her not to because I never wanted people like that to hear about it.
Okay, so people didn't know you were pregnant.
Most people didn't know.
Okay.
So it was when I came back to stay with my mom
That they knew.
that my community people knew.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. I just want us to establish our various stories so that we'll not get straight to the point. So I'm going to ask Barrister. I know you will be more. You'll be able to put it together, make it shorter than Janet's story. You know, Janet is a teacher, so her own was so elaborate. So can you just give us, tell us your story? What happened to you? Because I know there's a girl there's a boy there that wants to hear your story and wants to know how you were able to come out of whatever it is that happened to you.
Thank you very much, Mom. First of all, I'd like to say yes, I'm a rainbow aunt, and it's not easy saying the story, but I'm going to share it nonetheless. In 2015, July 4th, to be precise, I was supposed to go to my friend's wedding, and I had just started dating someone. I was a virgin then, and I was in university. You know, I grew up in a home where my mom instilled virtues of godliness into us, and there was this view that if you don't get married to your husband as a virgin, you know, you're not complete or something. And I had this plan that okay, I was going to keep myself. I told the guy I was dating. We both agreed that okay, no problem. There was not going to be any sexual intercourse in the relationship. So this day I went to his house because we planned to go for the wedding together. It was my friend's wedding, and I got to his place, and he said he was sick. I was like okay, but I was fully dressed for the wedding already. So I was like okay, let me go and come back. But okay, I should just help him get something, and it happened, you know. He locked the door. I was like, why are you locking the door? He said, nothing, he just wants to talk to me about something. I said, okay. And he turned off the light. So I was like, okay, what's going on? I never imagined I could be raped. In fact, if anybody had told me that you would be raped, I would say it's a lie. Secondly, if anybody had told me that I'll be raped by someone who I loved with every being, I would never believe it, because he's not someone that if you see him, you would never know he can even hurt a fly. You know, so I was like, okay, why are you turning off the light? Why are you locking the door? It did not occur to me that I was going to be raped that day. And I saw a side of him I have never seen before. I've never told anyone this story, but yeah. He pinned me down to the floor in his parlor. Of course, I was putting on this wraparound skirt and everything. And the shouting, everything. His brother was in the room. I don't know how the brother did not hear, but it happened. And he was like, I'm sorry. I was just crying. I was like, okay, what do you want me to do now? He said, okay, since we've already talked about it, don't worry, I'll get married to you and everything. And since that day, everything changed for me. I became a different person. When I mean a different person, I mean I became very, very hard on myself. I became very tough. Everything literally changed for me from that day. I didn't even realize I was hurting people around me until I met you, Mama, and I told you about it last year. And then you asked me to pray and forgive him. It wasn't easy forgiving him actually, but I knew I needed to because I had to move on with my life. This was 5 years later. Last year was the first time I told my mom. And she was like, yes, she knew there was something different about me. She started giving me incidents of when she would ask me, okay, when would you want to get married? And I'll be like, I don't want to get married. She'd be like, why don't you want to get married? I said, no, I'm focusing on my education, I'm focusing on my career, I'm focusing on God and everything. It wasn't just because I didn't want to get married, it was because I was afraid of being vulnerable to someone. I was afraid of being open to someone again, and then everything I held so dear would just be taken away.
Okay, we'll come back to that. All right. Different stories, different experiences, and different pains, and things you can't ever imagine. And there's one striking thing between the two of them that have shared their stories. That is Janet and Barrister R.A.I.N.B.O.W. It was from somebody they love. Okay, so we're gonna, before I come to you, Barineka, I want to ask this question. Someone said that when girls are raped, it's their fault. These are the myths I want us to bust. That girls are raped. Most of the times that girls are raped is their fault. So in the story, there's a way there are people you tell the story, they'll say it's your fault. Why did you go and visit the guy? One, and didn't you know he was a rapist? Two, when it's somebody you're dating and the person has intercourse with you, it's not rape. Okay, I'm sure that maybe you've not shared the story with people, but this is the common belief that it's not rape, it's consent. When you're dating somebody and the person raped you, and the person has sex intercourse with you, rather, it's not rape. So I want to ask, are rapists known? Are there people that you see this person, oh, this person is a rapist? Will you identify a rapist when you see the person?
You can never know.
You can't identify them. So the society, when you tell rape victims that didn't you know it's a rapist, that's a wrong question to ask, because you cannot identify a rapist by seeing them. Most of them are so innocent. Okay, in these two stories, they said there were people that they trusted. Janet visited her friend. Her friend is not somebody you just met on the street, right? It's not somebody that they met on the internet. So these are people that you believe that they are good, they are awesome, they are lovely, they are godly, and they raped you. So nobody can identify a rapist. Now the second myth I want to bust is your fault. So Janet, is it your fault that you were raped?
Well, it wasn't my fault that I was raped.
Good.
Because I didn't know that I was going to be raped.
Good.
And I never had the intention of going there for that.
Okay.
So it wasn't my
Thank you. Barrister, was it your fault that you were raped?
It was not my fault that I was raped.
Okay.
It's something that I battled with for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because
You were telling yourself it's
yes,
my fault.
I told myself
if I
it
didn't
was my
go
fault.
there, I wouldn't have been raped.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's someone there watching us, and you believe that if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have been raped. Darling, even at home, you can be raped at home. You can be raped going to church. So I want you to take away that myth that it was your fault that you were raped. In their scenario, some people would say, it's your fault. Why did you visit your friend? Is there someone there that has never visited a friend? Whether male or female. In Janet's case, she didn't visit a male. She visited a female friend. And she became a victim of the brother's foolishness. So it's not your fault that you were raped. So Barineka, I like your story is very peculiar. I want to take your story because it's a bit different from these people's story. So I'm going to take your story to Barrister. How did you get rid of this trauma associated with this rape? With this, you're a lawyer. If I use the word dehumanization, is that correct? Okay, so you are not dehumanized.
Let me say what I define rape as.
Okay.
I define rape as mental murder.
Okay.
Mental murder in the sense that the survivor is killed mentally. Life is never the same. Life is never the same because when I look back at how I used to be, the truth is I actually want to be pleasant, but somehow I still feel okay, I shouldn't just let my guard down.
Become overbearing and overprotective.
Yes.
Okay. So the trauma associated with rape, how did you deal with yours so that we can now talk to that young girl or that young boy that is listening to us? How did you deal with your trauma? I know yours, it hardened you. You were so tough. A girl sent me a message. She said since she was raped, she hates anything called male. Whether the boys are good, whether they are bad, she doesn't want to associate with any boy. She's in the university, doesn't talk to boys. She doesn't relate with male, and she's not ready to get married. So as far as she's concerned, everything called male is ugly, dirty, and rapist. So that girl is not far from you, because you became very hardened, you became very tough. So I would like you, in a second, in a minute, tell us how was this traumatic experience for you? How did it affect you? Before we talk about the solution, we're not looking at the solution, we're looking at the problem. How did it affect you?
Okay, like I said, I became very hardened. I never contemplated the thought of getting married, and I remember when my mom would be asking me about men. There was this day I made a statement that I didn't even know when I said it. It became an unconscious thing. I just said, I hate men. And she was like, how can you hate men? Why do you hate men? I was like, nothing, I don't want to talk about it. I had friends, I had guys who came around me, but good guys.
Yeah.
But I just, so to speak, friend zoned them.
Yeah.
I remember one of them would be like, Ella, you did not just friend zone me, you brother zoned me. I just didn't want to let them into a particular space. And I found out that I was not just hurting them, my friends, my male friends, I was hurting my family. Especially my mom. It was really, really heartbreaking. I know there are several times we'll be having our morning devotion and her prayer point will be, God give Owanemi a heart of flesh. And I'll be like, I don't know why you're praying this prayer. I never told her until last year. So it just made me go back into my shell and become very hardened. And I didn't want to be vulnerable at all to anybody. And I became very, very suspicious of men. Like every little thing a man does to me, I feel, okay, you want to lure me into something that you would want to rape me or you want to take my innocence away from me and all that. So yeah, it killed me mentally.
Okay. All right. Before I ask you the next question, not just Janet, is everybody that will ask the question, that will answer this question. It has to do with why young people, when they are raped, they are always scared of telling their parents. Because in Janet's case, if she had told her parents earlier, maybe they would have taken an action and all that. So Barineka, your case is one of the peculiar cases I've heard. You become victims of when somebody is a victim of circumstances that are beyond your control. Yes, even in these other two cases, there are circumstances that are beyond their control. Yes, but somehow you can control this. But the case of Barineka is a case that is difficult for you to control. So Barineka, I would like you to put it together. I know it's long, but just put it in a nutshell. Share your experience with us. What happened to you?
Like she said, it's peculiar.
Yeah.
Because it speaks more on this fact that rape is never the victim's fault.
Yes.
Because I was in my house, I was fully clothed, trousers, socks, long sleeve and all. It happened during a robbery case. Robbers attacked my sister's house in town, and the whole thing started because I was the one that saw them when they came in. And we were breaking down, it was a full robbery, breaking down the doors and everything. I was in shock. And then the guy that raped me took me to the kitchen. That was where it happened. There were weapons around for me to use. I'm a stubborn person naturally, so I tried fighting back, struggling and all. There were weapons around, knife and everything, but when I remember that there were up to 12 that came for this robbery.
And that's a full spot robbery.
I couldn't do anything because if I touch one,
the rest of them will come.
So I just had to. I still tried fighting and all that. And he was holding a gun. I was raped at gunpoint. He was holding a gun, so he used it to hit my head, told me to calm down, or else he would shoot me and still rape me and leave me there. So he used the gun on me. I became unconscious. Though I was slightly aware of what was happening, but every other thing that he did and all that,
He became powerless.
I couldn't do anything. I was just hearing voices and all. A friend, I think one of them came and was like, guy, now everywhere you go, you're going to do this thing. You know they go.
So that apparently, wherever he goes to for the robbery, he rapes innocent people.
Because for that one, for one of them
to make such comments.
I think so. So when he was done, he just dragged me to the bedroom and left me there. I was in shock. I couldn't say anything. My sister was asking me because I was in the house, what's wrong with you? What happened?
They didn't even know.
I couldn't say anything. I was just so speechless, nothing, because I was bleeding from my head already. So with the whole thing, when everything ended, they had to like take me out to the hospital, security unit at Shell. That was where they took me. That was where I was able to talk and tell them what happened.
We know we are sure we are rainbow.